So I know that a lot of people are using attacks and trying to take me down because they're scared of me. Listen, I've run 12 campaigns and all I've done is one. I win everything that I do.
Support you on shooting the dog.
I'm honest. Well,
and we've been
my
consumed
goodness.
with emails saying, I won't vote for this person. I won't vote for Trump if he puts her in the vice presidential spot.
Well, I'll tell you, Stuart, I'm sorry you're not hearing from real Americans that live on farms and ranches.
Did you bring up
yes,
the dog?
Enough, Stuart.
With Trump? Did you
this
bring
interview
up the dog
is
with Trump?
ridiculous what you were doing right now.
I don't
so
think
you need to stop. It is.
If you went to dictionary.com right now and looked up the word desperate, you would see a picture of Kristi Noem. This whole situation that has blown up in the past few days involving Kristi Noem shooting dogs and meeting Kim Jong-un has been a cautionary tale for would-be politicians everywhere. Kristi Noem is yet another example of the out-of-touch ruling class we have in this country. In case you've somehow missed all the hubbub, here's the 411. Kristi Noem started a media blitz press tour on all the major networks for her book, No Going Back. In the book, Noem wrote about killing her 14-month-old wire-haired pointer dog named Cricket after the dog allegedly attacked and killed her neighbor's chickens. She described Cricket as untrainable and less than worthless as a hunting dog. According to the book, Noem led Cricket to a gravel pit and shot her, writing, quote, "It was not a pleasant job, but it had to be done," unquote. This has rightfully sparked outrage from animal rights activists, politicians from both parties, and the general public for its perceived cruelty towards the animal. If that wasn't humiliating enough, the flap over her book got worse when an excerpt referenced Noem meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The problem is, it never happened. Noem's own spokesperson called the story, quote, an error, and the publishers removed it from the book. Here's the thing. When asked directly about the error, Noem refused to admit that she didn't meet Kim Jong-un. Instead, she danced around the issue.
You talk about meeting some world leaders and one specific one. Quote, "I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I've been a children's pastor after all." Did you meet Kim Jong-un?
Well, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage. And I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went forward and have made some edits. So I'm glad that this book is being released in a couple of days and that those edits will be in place and that people will have the updated version.
So you did not meet with Kim Jong-un. That's what you're saying.
Cricket the dog wasn't the only thing she put a bullet in, because this whole debacle has rendered her long-term plans DOA. It was clear what her intentions were. This plan is straight out of the unknown politician playbook. First, you write a book introducing yourself and your values to the country. Then you start appearing on various lists for high-profile national jobs or cabinet posts. In Noem's case, she was making a run to be Donald Trump's vice presidential running mate. From there, you either get appointed or elected to a higher office, and boom, you're in the hunt for a future presidential run. So what caused all this? I think it's a classic case of a politician trying to look and sound the part. The only problem is, she doesn't know what the part is. Noem and her strategists have notebooks full of polling data and research reports about what Americans want in a leader. What they don't have is the first flipping clue about what actually connects with real people. This feels like Noem and her brain trust were positioning her as Sarah Palin 2.0. She's a wife and a mother. She's a boss babe. She's not like those soft, bleeding heart liberal feminists. She's tough as nails and can stand toe-to-toe with any man. In all of their concerted efforts to present this popular and polished image, they exposed her Achilles heel, a cavernous lack of integrity. Kristi Noem and her handlers made a fatal miscalculation. The majority of people don't care about your ability to stare down dictators or pop a cap in Old Yeller to prove how tough you are. What they do care about is having the common sense and moral character to admit when you're wrong. No going back indeed. Thanks for watching. Now tell me what you think. Is Kristi Noem still a possible choice for Donald Trump's running mate? Or did this fiasco ruin her chances? Let me know in the comments below.